really have that, mentality of, a rising tide lifts all ships. And especially when it comes to the business side of trucking, lots of drivers who went from being a really good driver and knowing everything about driving to being business owners. Being a business owner is a different deal. It's a different deal. It just is. And so those guys, gals, lots of people out there who've just made that transition and are new to it and just need a little help to understand some of the areas that they're not as familiar with, or have someone outsource their payroll and bookkeeping. And one of the things I wanted to add, and I know that this is kind of at the end of this, but in terms of what makes your company and our company both a little bit different, is that we are both brick and mortar companies. We're not just some number in wherever that you call and it goes into the ecosphere. We actually have multiple locations. I know you guys have a physical location. We're actually real world companies doing this work with actual people who answer the questions. And so I think that matters to a lot of folks. I think the transactional online world has a place, and everyone's loved lots of the transactions you can get done by just jumping online and doing it real quick. But when you need someone to answer a payroll question, I want to know that there's somebody in Michigan in a building I can call and go, hey, my client's got a question here, or Sally didn't get her check, or whatever it is. I want to be able to make that call to you guys in your building in Michigan, just like I think a lot of folks want to be able to call Oldline, Iowa, or Waterloo, or Minneapolis, Minnesota, and say, hey, you need to talk to a person. I think that makes a difference, and I think the pendulum's swinging back that direction a little bit more.
I think so too. Yeah, we see our people want to be known and understood, and so one of my big bugaboos is I don't like call trees, and so where you got to press 1 for this and 2 for this and 3 for this, and so yeah, like when somebody calls our number, it rings to almost all the phones in the building if they call the main line, because we don't want people to have to go through a call tree. They just want an answer to their question, or they just want help. So let's just help them. And so yeah, that's again, yeah, from the time I met you guys, I was like, oh yeah, these guys are exactly the kind of people we need to be sending people to, because they're gonna help. They're gonna help take on the IRS problems instead of. And the other thing too is I think you guys translate trucking into English, or taxes into English. I mean, so it's a helpful thing versus like you would talk about other companies that will just be like, well, you owe this much, and they might go into some detailed explanation why, but they don't really. They're speaking. It's like talking to a doctor who's a specialist. It's hard for them to just use words like tummy. Don't